What's up, guys? Brockhampton's got another album. Let's talk about it.
This is Chris with Down the Line Media. Brockhampton just announced that they are putting out a
Let's
new album
go!
this year in 2022.
Dude, I cannot wait.
Dude, let's talk about it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. The boys are at Coachella. At the last show, the boys announced, they played this like cryptic video. It just said, final album, 2022. That's this year. Within 8 months, we're going to have a new Brockhampton album. The emotions have been up and down. The amount of times, Chris, you called me and said, like, you were like grieving a loved one. The amount of times you called me saying like, oh no, do you really think they're going to be breaking up? I don't want them to break up. Like, there's still so much left to do. Like, I even called you a couple times. We would trickle or, fluctuate between all the different stages of grief. And
Yeah,
apparently we have
exactly.
another album. But it's actually like, it actually makes sense because last year Kevin said, he did say he was like 2 albums and a solo record in 2021. All we got was Roadrunner.
While Roadrunner is a fantastic album, it just kind of seemed like an unfinished book the way that they
The
announced
album?
that they were done making music after Roadrunner because it opened up so many questions and left us on so many cliffhangers as far as where the boys are going to go, what direction are they going to go next. I know the last couple albums they've really changed their sound and what they're
They have,
talking
yeah, they've
about
changed a
in those
lot.
songs. So I'm really excited to see what this next album is going to be all about because
Yeah. Dude, a new album this year. That like it's not going to be in December. Like the record is likely going to come out in like 6 months. Okay, so the tweet right here, the final Brockhampton album, 2022. We've heard this before. Like I don't even know if I even believe this. Like do you think that this actually will be the last album? Because my thought process has always been like Kevin's full of it. Like Kevin's full of shit. And what's actually going to happen is like they can say it's a final record, but then we're going to get we're going to have like 5-6 years of solo projects where they still work together. And I think that's great. That would still feel like Brockhampton content. Like the lack of Brockhampton doesn't mean no more music from the boys, right? And then like in 6-7 years they have like a reunion tour or whatever, and at that point Brockhampton would literally be like 15 years old. Like that's kind of insane.
well, if you go back to the roots of the group, they were formed by a common interest of Kanye West.
Yeah, exactly.
As much, and if you love or hate the guy, what he's always done so remarkably well at in his music career is promoting his music, whether if
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
through
yeah, yeah.
controversy or etc. I think Brockhampton and the boys kind of take that blueprint in a way
Yeah.
of be creating this drastic news that comes out and fans are devastated, begging for them to come back. I mean,
Kevin does the
obviously,
exact same thing. You're absolutely right. I feel like Kanye made that a thing where like that's like a trend. You just say whatever the heck you want and you're not it's a Twitter. It's Twitter. It's not like a binding
it's
agreement.
not real.
Yeah, it's not a
Yeah.
binding agreement. All you have to do is just like say something, get people. I mean, I do that on my own channels. Like I literally do the same thing. It's like trolling. But so okay, so when do you think when do you think we're actually gonna get a new song or a new or like a piece of promotional art? Are we actually taking this for face value? Could they push the record out into 2023? Because I like obviously that like it's true that the boys do want to break up so they can do their own thing, and I think that's totally fine. But like, I don't know. Do you actually think we're gonna get content? Do you think like when do you think we're actually gonna get something?
So I'm gonna take them at face value for this because if they posted all over their social media about it and it's getting as much traction as it is, now there's an expectation for the group now to put something out this year. I mean,
Yeah,
unless if
I
they want
mean
to get fans salty about it.
there were expectations last year as well.
Mhm. And how it worked, not exactly. I'm sort of paraphrasing the months on when the stuff dropped, but I believe it was Buzzkill that dropped first,
Yeah,
and then a
count on me.
month or two went back. Yeah, Count on Me, and then I think Windows was the third
I
single.
think no, yeah, yeah, yeah. I think we got like snippets of Windows, but it wasn't like an actual single. I
And then we had the full record. So
yeah,
maybe they'll roll out sort of the similar game plan where we might get a late spring, early summer banger.
Yeah.
A month will go by, maybe we'll get another banger,
So
and
maybe
then
like June, July. I feel like July would, like I remember when they started teasing music last year, I was like I was on vacation at the beach. I was in Maine. And I was like, all right guys, you got to drop something. This is like when I need the new Brockhampton, right? I was like, okay, I'm at the beach. There's waves. Like, give me some stuff to work with. Something in July would be sick. What do you think the album's gonna be called?
you know, just when you think you have a prediction on
Yeah,
what the album name is going to be called, they go a completely different direction.
because I actually like because historically, like with Saturation, that was like just one word, and then every song on Saturation was like essentially just one word, and then they kept that up for Iridescence and for Ginger, and I liked that. It's like I liked that a lot. Even I mean, I guess Roadrunner has a longer name, but it's still just a single word. And then we look at the new Kendrick Lamar, the new title for that album that hasn't come out yet. That's like 7 words. That's like a whole movie title. Do you think they're gonna have like some convoluted? Do you think it's gonna be a concept record?
You know,
It's hard to tell. There's nothing to really work off of.
the last record, it seemed like it was a concept record around the concept of Jova's family issues.
Yeah, that's true.
And the boys, I think they've always been best personally,
Yeah,
and they just put stuff out.
yeah.
And it doesn't have to
They'd
be
be
a
fun.
concept album. It's just what I loved the most about Saturation and a little bit of Iridescence too was each song felt like a different album. Like
Yeah,
each song felt like a new experience from start to finish.
yeah,
So while a concept album would be really nice, maybe they could talk about what it's like growing up and maturing while being famous. Maybe it's the maybe it's like them living in LA, or this new lifestyle that they have, because we've heard like Kevin and Matt, Merlin talk about their new life now that they're famous. But personally, if it were up to me, I would love to hear more about their experiences of fame, because they're just ordinary kids. They're not industry plants or anything like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
They
yeah.
just normal guys.
No,
So
that's a really good point, and like that reminds me of like the way I see the boys since the Saturation era. I feel like they've been chasing that same feeling and that same sound. They were such a moment, and I feel like a huge part of the moment. We're both a little bit older than the I think the people who really like grabbed onto Brockhampton's music. But I feel like when they dropped that music in like 2017, it's a lot of like high school and college kids, and that's a moment for them. But now we're like 5 years out from the Saturation trilogy. Those people are out of high school or they're out of college. They're like in a completely different place in their life. For me, Brockhampton, I think for both of us, Brockhampton was like it brought us back to college. That's what it was for me. We were both at like desk jobs, and they dropped that music that summer, and it brought me back. I remember visiting a friend who was like finishing college, and I remember driving to the university and listening to Saturation 2 for the first time. And it brought me back to college. It brought me back to like a younger age. And I feel like what they've been chasing since then, it's like Iridescence was so chaotic after the fallout. Ginger was so sad after the fallout, whatever had happened. And Roadrunner felt it was like their tough album. It was like we don't need a mirror, or we still got it, or we're working with all these industry people now. We've made it. I would love, like you said, to like if the record really was just rooted in having fun and making fun, and that doesn't mean just like pop music. That doesn't mean just rap music. That means like just like if they vibe, if they're just fun. I feel like that's where the magic is. And the boys, I think they need to separate. It does need to happen. I think they need to separate, come back together with a clean slate.
I think it was watching the announcement video that they made.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And Evan Abstract, it seems like he was. I mean, he's always been the ringleader of the group,
Yeah.
So it seems like Kevin brought the boys back together after a little bit of a break, a vacation, if you will. It sounded like he was really excited, and in the video, you can check it out on Kevin
Well,
Abstract's Twitter,
yeah,
their social
we can
media
play
page.
it.
Yeah, it he said that he spent some time in New York outside of LA,
Yeah.
Hawaii, where their other studio is. It seemed like Kevin
Not
Abstract
in
went out,
Texas.
not in
Like New
Texas
York's.
exactly.
That's actually so. That's close to where we are. We're in Boston.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, exactly. It's
bro,
not too
New
far away.
yeah, New. That's cool. So that really is a big change for the group. There's actually a photo. We'll show the photo. That
Mhm.
maybe that's probably them in Coachella. But this photo was taken when they announced the new record. So what we were talking about is like who's gonna be on the record? Who produced the record? Kevin said I made a record, something like that. He said I made a record and it's not a solo record. It's about the group. Like what the heck does that mean? What did he already make the record? Is it done? Are we gonna get it this summer?
That's a great point because
That makes
he
no
sits
sense.
down and as the camera angle pans, it shows all the Brockhampton producers there. Kiko,
Yeah, dude.
Ari, Romil. It seemed like they
Are
were
we
all
not gonna get
there.
Ramil production? Is there gonna be a scratch? There better be a scratch.
We better get a rewind tape because that's when you know when you hear the rewind tape.
You gotta
That's when you
jump.
know a banger's about to come on.
Yo, pause.
But
Just on that, like, I can't wait for the day that they start the solo. Like, that's Ramil's scratch, right? That's his tag,
yeah, that's
or
his
is that
tag.
okay? Whoever's it is like whenever they work with another artist and you're listening to Travis Scott or I don't know, like you're listening to the new like Denzel Curry or whoever, right? If you're listening to a record, you're like enjoying it, and then you hear the rewind tape and it's not a Brockhampton project. That's gonna be insane, dude. That's gonna be then on the next Kanye record. Imagine. Anyways, continue.
And I think, I think that would be great. And to echo what you were saying about the boys break, like going their separate ways for a little bit and
Yeah.
doing their own thing. Ramil, I mean, he's a producer, so he probably could call up anybody and could put a song together with these random artists that aren't members of Brockhampton.
Yeah.
And like you said, you could hear the rewind tape and just know that that's a Ramil track.
So
Uh,
what we always hear is like I feel like we always find tracks and it's Kevin and Ramil and um, uh, Ryan, right? Like I feel like that's like always like Kevin's solo work, and I'm sure he's already got his own project. But I'm curious to know what the structure of this album is. Did Kevin make a solo record and then wants to put and then like Ramil put all the guys on the record? Did Kevin make did he just straight up make a group project? Or not Kevin, but like I mean he said he made it.
he said it's not a solo record; it's for
Yeah.
the group.
But why is he making music without the guys? Like did this stuff already exist? Is this the record that we didn't get last year? Probably. That would make the most sense, right?
For but I would say like yes, there's some amazing songs on Technical Difficulties. Maybe some of those make the next album. I really
Yeah.
hope so.
I'm
Maybe
sure they
Fishbone's
will.
one of my favorite songs. Fishbone's one of my favorite
Dude,
unreleased songs
Fishbone's one of my
ever.
favorite records of all time. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. And I think there were two tracks from Technical Difficulties that got put on the record. Dude, okay. This is my like grand scheme plan of Brockhampton. This is like the way when I analyze the way they step. This is like how I see it. It's like they're pretty much so they came on the scene. They made a huge impact. They got the drama right. So they've got the moment and the culture. They've got the drama. That's two things. What they don't have is like a back catalog. So what they ended up doing was like they created even more like culture and buzz and significance. They pretty much like turned themselves into a Frank Ocean or a Kanye, right? A Prince, right? They gave themselves this legacy by making projects and then scrapping them. It's like the project doesn't even need to be good, but it's the promise, the lost promise of a record. Puppy, dude, right? Best Years of Our Life, or was that a tour?
Oh, Best Years of Our Life was supposed
Yeah,
to be another. It was a trilogy
yeah,
for Iridescence, and then there's supposed to be others too
yeah,
that never.
exactly. And then Technical Difficulties was like the Yandi, where it's like we got the tracks but not the official release. So they have all this music, just they're just sitting on it. So the way I think it's like, even if they, I was telling you, man, like even if they do break up, they can still put out music. They could like, I don't know if this is insensitive, but like, rest in peace, Mac Miller. They still put out records by Mac Miller. They still put out Juice World records, right? Brockhampton's not dead. Brockhampton just broke up, but they could still put music out, right? They don't need
Yeah,
to tour it. They could still drop the Technical Difficulties records.
where artists make a comeback all the time.
Yeah. So, man, dude, that's gonna be fun, dude. Whenever they drop another record, or whenever they drop another like single, it's gonna be all hands on deck. That's gonna be so much fun. Like, who do you want to see most on this record within the group?
Within the group, because this last album was really a lot about Joba. Joba had a
Yeah,
lot of moments on Roadrunner, which is good. We really like that was very brave of Joba to come out and bring to the light, no pun intended,
yeah,
all of his problems and his demons that he fights all the time because of his dad.
yeah, bro. That's a really Roadrunner is like it's so good, dude. It's so and it's good because he's being vulnerable. I mean, a lot of the guys are being vulnerable, but like it's just powerful.
Just being authentic, and I think it's so brave. So to answer your question about who do I want to see more of,
Yeah, it's
I really
Joba.
want to see, and this I really want to see Dom. I've
Okay.
always been a Dom fan from the jump.
Yeah.
I personally think that he's the most talented out of the group. I know people have their different disagreements, but I really want to see Dom shine because
Yeah.
he always is Mr. Reliable. He always gives you a great verse,
Always
but
good.
there's no songs that are really in the album or in their discography. And correct me if I'm wrong. Leave a comment down below if there is songs on their discography, but there's not really a lot of songs in their discography that focus a lot on Dom. I mean,
Yeah,
he'll
it's
go
true.
and he'll spit a verse about his life, but there's no songs molded around that. So
Yeah.
I would love to see Dom
Maybe he's
really
saving
shine.
it for a solo project.
Or yeah, you could be saving it for a solo project. Yeah,
The
I
way
would love to see
yeah, yeah,
him or
sorry.
Matt. I would say him or Matt. Those two
Yeah,
guys.
Matt.
I would love to see.
I think that's true. I mean, I got all sorts of thoughts right now. Like the way I would tell you like Dom's amazing. He reminds me of like the Absol. Like if we're gonna compare him to TDE, he's like the Absol of the group, where he's like so lyrical, right? He's not like the forefronter. He's not the pop star. He's just like so lyrical. Best of the group, 100%. It's not Kendrick. Like Absol is way better, way more lyrical and technical. But anyways, yeah, and I also feel like Dom was always like, I don't know where it is, but I think I saw an interview of him saying like, or he was saying like I never wanted to be in the group, or like I never would have pursued music if it wasn't for maybe Kevin or something. Like I think the guys were like just really hyped him up, and that gave him the confidence to actually hop on the mic and because they were probably friends, and then he was like, no, I'm not that good. Dom strikes me as a perfectionist, someone who's like, who, holds himself to a really high standard. So
Which you can say a lot of rappers and artists these days don't do that.
yeah,
So
most people don't, and that's what sets people apart. I think, yeah, most people don't do that. Oh, so something I was thinking is like, I feel like, Joba is low key the best in the group. I feel like he's the real front man, right? Like Kevin is the pretty face, but like Joba is like the lead guitarist, right, with the solos, right?
yeah,
He's the songwriter. Because he is a songwriter and a singer and a producer and a rapper, right? He does so much, and I feel like he's also a big part of the creative team as well. Like that's probably why they put him on the cover like Iridescence was like a rebirth because like Amir was the face of the band, and then they put him on the cover of Ginger, then they put him on the cover of Roadrunner, and that's just like a point to back up what I'm saying. But I think if you go back, like, and look at and just analyze the records, like he's been a focal point of so much, man. I don't know. Joba's every time like so many times Joba will deliver stuff that's like so emotional. At least for me,
he's grown up so much as an artist. I mean, in the early Saturation series, he was more of like a high-pitched Justin Timberlake kind of high falsetto, and he would sing hooks and choruses, and that was really it. He had some verses, but like you said, Iridescence, once Amir left, it really opened the door for other artists to be more versatile.
So I used to not like Joba. I used to like really not like him. I thought he was weird and corny, and he is corny. And he is weird.
Then you realize that he can rap, he can sing, he can be introspective, he can also be funny.
Dude, when he screams, and he can match Merlin, dude.
Yeah.
When Merlin screams, Joba goes, okay, hold this. F what you think and F what you heard. I feel betrayed.
That really sets the tone for the group.
Yeah. He really does, yeah, absolutely. I would also like to see more Matt. I mean, I feel like Matt's one of their secret weapons. Matt's just like, maybe he's Matt's like old reliable, right? Like you have like core rapper, like how about who do you think who do you think are the best rappers of the group? Not singers, not producers, but rappers.
Like in order from first to last.
Yeah, let's say top 3, just to make it tough.
Top 3 rappers. Okay,
yeah.
I'm going to say Dom for me personally is one.
Yeah, okay.
I would say Matt is second, and then for third, it's a great question.
It's tough, man, because you don't want to leave Kevin out.
I don't want to leave Kevin out, but at the same time, you know what? I'm gonna say Joba.
Dude, yeah.
Joba raps. He's immensely talented. His pen game is incredible.
Yeah,
and that's not a dig to Merlin or Kevin Abstract or Bareface. It's not a dig to any of those guys. But I think Joba's rapping can be impactful.
Yeah.
Like as impactful as a J. Cole or a Kendrick Lamar or rest in peace, a Mac Miller, where you really want to listen to what he's saying because he's saying some motivating stuff.
He's always saying stuff. I think the only thing that he said that gets annoying is the COVID-19 bar on Windows. Voodoo man, Mama took me to the church,
and I sang that hymn. Last album was really a breakthrough in their discography because from their first EP all the way until Ginger. Well, okay, until Iridescence. Okay, all right. Let me break this down.
Start over. Oh, okay.
The Saturation series, we had no features. Iridescence, we had Jaden.
We had Jaden. Oh, Saturation. Yeah.
Iridescence, we had Jaden Smith. He wasn't listed on the feature list. He just had his little
bonus.
Little thing that he said, and then he was out.
Yeah.
And it was like, whoa, okay. And Ginger, we had Slow Tie. We had
Deb Never. Is that her name?
Deb Never. Exactly. We had remixes of Dua Lipa doing Sugar.
Mm-hmm.
We had all these artists, and then it grew even more where we had A$AP Rocky, A$AP Ferg, some of the biggest names in hip hop.
Yeah. That's true, dude. That's pretty crazy.
We've seen with our very eyes.
Shawn Mendes was on the record secretly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was singing the hook on "Count on Me." But what I'm saying is gradually throughout their discography, we've had more and more features, and the boys are more comfortable and more confident to be putting these artists on their album. So 100%. My question for you, Liam, is who do you want to see next on their next record?
Harry Styles, 100%.
Harry Styles, yeah.
Does anyone have Harry Styles' phone number? I think Kevin tried to call him.
It's the wrong number.
Yeah, it was the wrong number.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
He even tweets about Harry Styles like Kevin does, and I think that would be so ironic and funny if their last album, because Kevin's been manifesting this and talking about, I need Harry Styles
Yeah.
on a record. So it would be so. I love
Dude,
that.
that'd be insane. Seriously. I would also like. I mean, they did Shawn Mendes. That was another like I said, that was like another like Kevin wish list. I think personally, so there is a photo. This is when I got hyped. It was last summer when I was in Maine on vacation, and there was a photo that popped up on Instagram, on Kevin's Instagram, a picture of him and John Mayer. I'm a huge stan. Like, I've been a John Mayer boy for life, dude. That picture was insane. I was like so excited for that. And there was like a leaked song. What is it, like Watch in Texas, or Lost in Texas, or Texas Watching. Mm-hmm. And there's some guitar on that sounds like it could be John Mayer. I don't think it is, but maybe they got something cooking and they're just holding on to it, because that's what these artists do. They like work together. They hold on to stuff. They hold on to projects, right? Just because they met and worked on something doesn't mean they need to put it out immediately. It could be 2-3 years down the line. But I would say so. Harry Styles for the meme, John Mayer for myself, and then dude, Kanye West. They have to work with. That's like the final goal, right? Literally, there's so like, it was sick when they worked with Ferg and ASAP and Rocky. Like, there's so many artists that they do when they worked with JPEG Mafia. That was insane, dude. That was huge.
Yes.
That was huge. Oh. There's a lot of awesome artists on their level that I would love to see them work with. Someone that would be great would be Pink Pantheress. She popped up out of nowhere last year. I would love to see them collab. They've got a very like they both work with like weirdo type beats. That would be sick. But I actually have this. Let's go over this list. I found this on the Brockhampton subreddit. Someone put together a list of dream features. We've got Vince Staples. That seems doable. KC.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, KC is on. Helped produce Donda and helped work on Donda. Definitely, there's some really cool songs that I think they could create together, because Casey's all about the hooks. We've got Dominic Fike, which we've seen them work together. But yeah, Dominic's huge. Dominic's blown up a ton since then, so that would be very cool as well.
Is Jesse Beatty part of the group, or is he just like? Does he just show up?
Does Ryan Beatty
goes off and does his own thing?
I feel like he's a spiritual member of the group, the same way So Gone So Flexi is, or even Dominic Fike. I feel like both of them, it's like they're unofficial members. They're part of the canon of Brockhampton. This list on the subreddit is crazy. There's some names I don't even know, but they also got Lil Yachty, Quavo, Joji, Young Lean.
I give you 3, Liam.
Yeah, tell me.
SZA.
Yeah, dude.
Would love SZA.
Okay, so yeah, yeah.
At least, if not SZA, there should be a just as good of a female singer or an R&B singer on that next project.
I would love to see Kali Uchis.
Kali Uchis, yes.
Or Summer Walker.
He's worked with rappers in the past too.
Yeah, Kali Uchis is incredible. I would love to see her on a project.
I would say another one. This is a pipe dream.
Yeah, say it.
Frank Ocean.
Your voice cracked because you knew that's never gonna happen. It's too good, and it's not gonna happen. Dude, I wish we could pivot and say maybe
too much sense for that too.
Yeah,
he would sound perfect on a Brockhampton track.
You know, part of me feels like I actually don't know how good he would. I feel like Frank has matured so much. I feel like if Brockhampton worked with Frank when Frank was younger, I mean, no, 100%, they would sound good together. And I think their production quality has elevated to the point where they could match together very nicely. But I don't know. For some reason, I almost don't even want. I mean, I want it. I want Frank Ocean to work with the boys. But for some reason, I'm almost like, I feel like it's like, I don't know. Like, I almost like don't need it, if that makes sense. Like, they're inspired by Frank.
What about
It's the same reason why I'm like, they don't need to work with Kanye, even though I think one day maybe they will. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like they are born of Kanye. It's like almost like I don't know.
I
What
say
about
for them, if they got on a track with Kanye, that would just be them
yeah,
crossing the finish line of everything that they've wanted to do in life.
dude? Yeah, 100%. They could just retire. They could retire
Literally
legitimately,
retire
and I
after
would
that.
actually be fine with it.
Like,
What,
fans
what
would
about
have.
Tyler the Creator? I think is totally possible
Dude,
because he
Tyler, okay,
he works
listen
with
to
so
this.
many up and coming artists.
So we talk about how San Marcos sounds like the entire album of Flower Boy.
Yeah, is that what I'm thinking of? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree.
Call Me If You Get Lost. Like it has,
Yeah.
he has like, no, he just
Well, they're both experimental rap like groups or artists, right? They're both experimenting and using such weird sounds to push the genre forward while still maintaining this level of like pop, right? They still make songs that are palatable, right? I would also love to hear. I think a perfect fit for the record for a Brockhampton feature it would be Rex Orange County, who was all over Flower Boy, and I think
hmm,
he's a singer who's got a great voice, but he's just different enough. It's kind of like Christian Alexander. It's just different enough where I think it would actually it would complement a Brockhampton song, right? It's not like an angelic voice. It would be a nice contrast to like a Jesse again a Ryan Beatty.
might be, yeah.
It'd be a nice contrast to a Ryan Beatty. Do you know Rex Orange County? He's the guy. He's like the English guy who sings on Flower Boy. He's got like 2 or 3 songs.
Yeah,
On
no.
Boredom.
Well, I don't really know his discography like that.
Yeah,
Well, I do know who that is, and a lot of artists, like you said, like working with him.
bro. They could work with so many artists. I think one day. This is why I want them to break up, low key. Because if they break up, they can start working with other artists and they can start building their own empires. And I think that's what they want to do. Right? They've been bound by the group. It brought them so far, but now there's all this stigma attached to the group. It's like what's that Batman quote? You either live long enough to be no, what is it? You die the hero or live long enough to become the villain.
Exactly.
And they're
Yep.
I mean, and they're it's like to them it's like they got this huge boost. Let's do this the right way for the viewers. They got this huge boost on the chart, right? And they're like they're they're becoming so valuable and well known, and now they're just kind of growing stagnant. And what they want to do is separate, and then you have all the dude. Imagine getting 5 records, 5 Brockhampton born records in 2 years. We could get dude a Kevin record, a Joba record, a Matt record, a Merlin record, a Dom Fike record, Bareface. We've already gotten 2 Ryan Beatty records, which are okay. We've got some great Dominic Fike records, right? I know he's not part of the band, but like, you could get albums just as good as that, right? And I think it's much easier for a single artist to start working and collaborating with different people than it is for an entire group, right?
You could say the group made Dominic Fike, and now he's starring on Euphoria.
Yeah, dude.
And it started
Brockhampton wrote
random
Euphoria.
snippet from the group's YouTube page.
Dude, maybe how much you want to bet Kevin tries to get Jacob Elordi in the next music video? That's not like I mean, my girlfriend would be happy. My fiance would be she'd like that.
I don't know where they go. I guess it depends how the album sounds like. And Buzzcut music video was chaotic.
Dude,
I think it
Buzzcut's
matched the
insane.
song and the theme of the song perfectly.
Yeah.
It just when you watch the video, it's visually crazy and there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Just like how the beat in the song and the energy is just chaotic. So I really hope that if they when they do make a new music video, hopefully that they have more money than they have ever had, so you can't say that it won't be great.
They got the budget, yeah.
They'll have the budget to make a beautiful music video if they
So
wanted to.
I love that they do what all of my favorite artists do. They create new characters, they create a new world, a new lore for every album rollout. Right, the saturation was that's chaotic.
And blue faces
Yeah,
and all that stuff.
and then you got and then you have the iridescence. Right, it literally all the music videos looked like that. I should go back and watch some of those. I remember not appreciating them as much
So
when it happened.
nostalgic watching some of those. Like, go back and
Joba's
watch
like,
watch New Orleans, the music
Yeah.
video.
yeah,
It doesn't look like the same group. Like, obviously it is, but like they look so different than what they do now. Like, Joba had a bowl cut.
yeah, bowl cut Joba. That's insane. Cause then Ginger was like them being they're like outer space or they're like aliens, right? And then Roadrunner was they were. I look at to me what Roadrunner was again it's that alien abduction kind of thing, but instead of aliens they're going to like another dimension where they're in a computer, right? They're in a simulation. I liked how a lot of the art had them depicted as what do you call it, like CG, right? They were like CG models. I thought that was really cool. They looked like NFTs. Brockhampton looked like
Yeah.
NFTs, and I think I was telling you, buddy, like I was telling you what months ago when they said they were like done. What I thought was okay, that doesn't. I was in denial when Brockhampton announced. I'm gonna do this again. When Brockhampton announced that they were finished and that there was not going to be any more projects last year in 2021, I was in denial, and my first thought was, okay, they're gonna break up, but they're still gonna. This is part of the album rollout. They're gonna release another record, and the album rollout is gonna be in the style of the record. The style of that rollout is gonna be Brockhampton as undercover or like, they're being hunted down, right? Like I'm thinking of all this old school government footage. They're being spied on. That was going to be the whole style of all the music videos. I could totally see it similar to Iridescence, but instead of the iridescence with that type of type of technology. Yeah, what it's going to be is like it's like the music video is going to be an image. I can see Matt talking or rapping the lyric in a window in London or something, or maybe in New York. Right, and then from the ground level, someone's like recording it, and then that footage is what we see. I would like that. Just seems so creative and fun, and in line with what they've done in the past. Granted, that was my my denial thought. That was my like doomsday denial, like grasping for straws. But I thought that would be such a cool concept, and they'll do something similar, not like that, but whatever it's gonna be really cool. I would like to see it in the same vein. It's their last record, right? It's like we want them, and they're breaking up, but we want them.
So, with this being the final record, this really is the end of Brockhampton after this album.
Yeah,
If you look back through a whole career,
yeah,
would you say that they're successful?
yeah, 100%. I mean, thinking about like where they started, right? They essentially started a YouTube channel, and it took off, and I think culturally they've made an impact, right? Culturally, and I think, yeah. So culturally they've made an impact, but I think also they will forever have Iridescence on the Billboard top 200, being number one in the top 200 forever. That'll forever be a part of the record. Like
You'll never be able to take that away. Like that was
yeah.
a number one record.
That's like industry music history. But I also think culturally, like, they've done it. Right? And the way I see them is like like I said, they break up, they make records, solo records, and then they can come back. I think they need to do that to grow.
To add on to that, Brockhampton will always be home base for them.
Yeah.
They can go out and explore and do whatever they want. They can experiment with different sounds and music. They can represent themselves. But when they step back into Brockhampton, they're Brockhampton.
100%.
And that will always be there because fans are forever faithful for them.
Yeah.
They've established a, like you say, they've built a culture. They've built like a really crazy following where people will always have that in their back pockets whenever they want. But I don't think you can permanently shut the door with this being their last record. Maybe it could be the last record under their record label, RCA. I don't know how many record deals that I don't know their contract or how many records they're supposed to put out under RCA. But maybe what if it's a way of them saying maybe this is our last record under a record label, like what Frank did. He's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, I'm gonna put out Endless, and then that's my label record, and then I'm gonna put out Blonde as an independent record. So maybe with this, because we hear all the time record labels preventing artists from putting out music. So maybe this could be like them ending their record label with RCA, and then they're back to being independent, and they already have a core following and everything.
Jeez,
So
that's
then they
true.
can just start posting music whenever they want to again.
Yo, that's really true. That really is true. That could be it, man. I mean, we don't know what the back end is for all of that. That really
These are just
that could be true. And I think you make a good point. Like I was saying, like, you know, they need to break up so they can grow, which they do need to do that. Like nothing grows like the passage of time, right? Like they need to capture that while they can. But I think you're right. Like Brockhampton is the home base, and I think when they do come back, that's what it's going to be all about. Like this is what I think of. I think of old school rock bands. It seems like every single year I read something that says like Bruce Springsteen's. Not that I go to the. I don't even listen to Bruce Springsteen, but like I'm saying, like I'll see like Bruce Springsteen or Journey or whatever, their final tour, and then like 3 years later I'll see Back Together, Bruce Springsteen or whatever band it is, Elton John. I've been seeing Elton John ads because he works with Dua Lipa now, but I'm like, yeah, of course they're gonna break up, and then they're gonna come back together. This is a piece of like they're not going. Brockhampton is not going anywhere. Should we end it on
You
that?
think you think the group? Well, okay, because we've had many history of rap groups and boy bands before, and what we've seen with most of them is that once the group does quote unquote break up,
Yeah,
there's only a handful, a couple maybe that become way more commercially successful
yeah,
than the group itself, like Harry Styles, Method Man, Tyler the Creator,
yeah,
Justin Timberlake, etc. You know,
yeah.
there's some
It's
names.
possible.
Who do you think has the most potential to become the most successful commercially?
I think right now Kevin is positioned for that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think Kevin is like palatable, but also very cool. But he is also kind of like an introvert. Not that that determines success. I just mean like out of the people that you mentioned.
He doesn't want to do that.
Yeah, out of the people that you mentioned, they're I would say they're uh, they're eccentric people, right? They're not loud, but you know what I'm saying. So I think I don't know, man. I feel like Kevin really is the only one who has the face for it, has the he's the leader. The rest of them just seem like they just seem like too inward. Like Dom to me is like I'm just a rapper. Matt seems like Matt will definitely have a career. I could see him working with a ton of people and just being like I'm just a rapper. Like and that's not a disrespectful thing. I just think their attitude is like I'm not the front man. And I think Joba has that. You know what? That's disrespectful. Joba has that, and Joba is weird. I keep thinking of him with his bowl cut and his mullet and his super long hair. But Joba does have that. Joba could be like a Tyler type, right? Where he's so weird, and that is what makes him undeniable if the music is there. But
Who
yeah,
I think
yeah,
I think could be
it's not bareface.
Erlen Wood. He's got the energy. I
Voodoo
think what
man.
the current trend of music is right now,
Everywhere I go is the woodland.
I don't know. I think he's got the charisma and energy,
He does.
and I think he's got the most potential to blow up if he wanted to. And in this
I
this is
think
again.
Merlin wants to. I definitely think Merlin wants to. So that's actually that's a pretty good. That's a good bet, dude. And Merlin's already started that. Merlin's the only one who has new solo material, other than Kevin. Bro, I'm so excited. Brockhampton's got a new record in 2022. Do you want to get back together and do this when they drop the next single?
Yeah, we might have to have like a listening reaction or something.
We might have to do that. Let us know in the comments if you want us to do that. But bro, thank you so much. We can make this a regular thing if you want. But thanks for having me on the. Dude, I'm hyped to be here. We're getting new Brockhampton.
Yeah, and this is our favorite. This is why we love music so much. Is we love to talk about some of our favorite artists for fun.
We do
and
this.
Brockhampton is definitely at the top of that list. So I'm really excited to talk more music with you, Liam.
Bro.
Thank you so much for being on Down the Line Media, and thank you everyone for tuning in. If you're a big Brockhampton fan, let us know what you think down below. Leave a comment, subscribe.
If you're still here, if you're still watching and you haven't subscribed yet, I might cry. I might go listen to some Bareface.
Dear Lord.
Yeah. All right, man. So I'll see you soon. And have a good night, everyone. We'll see you soon.
See you later, everyone.